Yes, meanwhile, Warringah MP Zali Steggall, Mike, is talking climate change, of course, during the bushfire crisis. Is it any surprise? The independent politician will table a private member's bill so as to force government to assess economic risks related to climate.
Yes. How's Zali going with the electric car? Still hasn't got one in the garage?
No, she's got a gas-guzzling something or other, I don't know.
Well, that's right. I mean, it kind of reminds me of people I've spoken to over the years who have a sort of guilt but don't change it. Actual quote, yes, we probably shouldn't drive the Range Rover, but we do have to pick Samantha up after dance lessons. Yes, of course, Zali. Look, I don't mind these. Well, I don't mind. It's not a question whether I mind them or not, but I encourage inquiries. But what I would like to see, Chris, is some solutions.
Yep.
Instead of this eternal, are you a climate denier? Let's move on from that. Could we offer some solutions, please?
Yes, exactly. And can we try and find out if we've had this 1.5 or 1.6 degree increase in average temperatures for the past 100 years, what impact is it making to the fires? I keep getting conflicting views from scientists. But anyway, this riles me even more, though, Caroline. Student climate change activists are being trained in Sydney to deal with police weapons before their next protest march. This is being reported on online today by news site Cauldron Pool. Are they kidding? Do they want to set up militias attached to universities now where you've got to be prepared to clash with police?
Yeah, well, look, we already know that these people are anarchists. So they are just behaving and they're actually just showing us their true colours. This has got nothing to do with compassion. This has got nothing to do with saving anyone or the planet or the next generation or wildlife. This is about having a crack at the authorities. And they're just doing what they actually, you know, what they actually believe. So, look, I'm completely unsurprised.
Well, Mike, I would have thought the police might be interested in what sort of tactics they're being taught on Sunday in Sydney, given the fact that you really don't need to get together before a protest to work out how to march.
No, indeed. Back in the day, hey, I'm not looking through rose-coloured glasses, but it wasn't an elective. You had to figure out for yourself how to be part of the demo. Are the current crop of students so dumb they have to be taught how to get out there and demonstrate? This really is absurd, isn't it? It really is ridiculous. And you're right, yes. The coppers will be taking a keen interest in this, I would think.
As they should, as they should. One last one for you both. Dobbing has never been seen really as an Australian trait, but during this period of strict water restrictions, Sydney Water has said today that they've had more than 4,000 people dobbing on their neighbours for breaching these rules. I think this is understandable, Caroline. I know we're not great dobbers. We don't like people dobbing. I say to my kids, stop dobbing on your brother. But really, if we're battling to save water, the less water there is, the more costly it's going to be. Turn the damn tap off.
Yeah, look, I'm a little bit on the fence with this one. Normally, dobbing is very annoying. This is a necessity. Water is a necessity. We don't have a lot of it. Everyone is suffering. So to act outside of the stipulations for the amount of water you're allowed to use is really very selfish. Yeah. But there's still part of me which just is a little bit riled by someone dobbing on their neighbour. Like, do people not know their neighbours well enough to be able to go, hey, come on?
Yeah, come on, exactly.
Maybe not. I mean, depends, you know, how well you know your neighbours. I know my neighbours really well, so I feel like I could probably say that, although I don't think they would probably breach water restrictions. But, you know, can we not have a kind word anymore? Why do we have to go to the authorities? I think that's a little bit... I don't want to use the word un-Australian, but that's one that's popped into mind.
Mike Jeffries, I've got a neighbour about 5 doors down. I'd love to dob in, but it depends on the neighbour, doesn't it?
Well, we are being encouraged to be a nation of dobbers. If you see somebody throwing some garbage out the window, then, you know, dob. I suppose people might be sympathetic I remember years ago driving through French's Forest, and there was a combi van in front of me with all the stickers, Save the Whales, Rainforests, the whole thing, and they're tossing a lit cigarette out the window. But, you know, dobbing, there are so many bad examples of driving on the road, for example, where the cops ought to be out there. Are we going to be like the Russians? Everybody's got dash cam. And by the way, this is something I've been musing on, you know, the 4-minute shower. How is that to be policed?
Very good point.